You are listening to AM 1045. My name is Danny.
I'm Joseph.
This is Accidents on Purpose, a weekly radio show where we cover the music of the Seattle, the Pacific Northwest, beyond.
Yep.
You just heard a hot track from Hit Track from Constant Lovers, and they are playing this Saturday, November 21st.
Yep.
They're playing with, just looking at my notes.
Wait, that's, oh yeah, you're right. Go ahead. You have the date right.
Yeah, no.
Sorry I interrupted.
You know that this goes out live over the air.
I know this goes out live.
This is going out live over the
sorry.
air. And so it's not today.
Nope.
You're
right.
Yeah.
Yep.
So Gaytheist, Grenades, and the Great Goddamn are playing with the Constant Lovers at the Black Lodge.
All great bands.
November 21st. It's a benefit for the Black Lodge. I love the Black Lodge. You should go there and pay money. And if you don't like any of those bands, just go, pay money, take a shit, and leave.
That's like the worst bathroom in Seattle too. So to pay, it's a terrible bathroom. It doesn't close. Every time I go in there, I walk in on somebody.
Well, that's just because you're a pervert.
I wait till someone goes in. I'm like, I have deniability.
And then you open the door and you're like, I have deniability. And I'm like, Joseph, it's me.
Apparently that just makes me sound guilty. That's what people say. But.
Guilty as charged.
Whoa.
Joseph, how are you doing?
I'm doing really well. It's been a while since I've seen you.
Well, we record every week, so it's weird that you say that.
Oh, yeah, I guess that's true.
But what have you been doing this past week?
I don't know, not much. I went and saw Kowloon Walled City at the Highline, and that was a very good show.
Why?
Why was it good?
Why'd you go? Okay.
Why did I go? I don't know. Why was it good? They are just far and away one of the better live bands I've ever seen.
And Far and Away is your favorite Tom Cruise movie.
Which one is that?
It's where him and Nicole Kidman are Irish immigrants.
Oh, I immediately thought of, what's the one with the race cars?
Days of Thunder.
Oh, that's the one I watched after I saw
Kowloon
Walled City. What?
I.e. Top Gun in a race car.
Is it really the same thing?
After the success of Top Gun, they started a script, and the name of the working script was Top Gun (parentheses) in a race car.
Okay, wow. Why do you know that?
Because I'm a lonely man who gets drunk and reads Wikipedia in between watching YouTube videos.
Mr. Belvedere.
Oh!
What?
You want to talk about Mr. Belvedere?
All right, sure.
No, we'll save that for later.
That's fine, but I've been good. How have you been?
It's pretty good. I've seen some shows. I saw Wand at Narwhal.
Yeah, how's that?
I like their records better.
Yeah.
Sorry if you're listening, sorry. I tried to make a joke during the show that did not go over well.
Like loudly?
Well, so it was.
You always heckle people.
Well, it was in between. It was like after like the second or third song, and they're like, "Hi, we're Wand," which the only band I feel it doesn't have to do that is the headlining band, but it's neither here nor there. But they said, "Hi, we're Juan. We're from Los Angeles." And then the drummer, who's fantastic and far and away the best member of the band, the drummer was like, "Oh, how do we sound?" And I was like, "Oh, you sound like you're from LA." It doesn't mean anything.
It doesn't.
It doesn't mean anything. And it's just because they just said that. And no one else. I didn't say it like immediately. I said it like he'd thrown the question out and there was like nothing.
Yeah.
And so I felt like I filled the void of silence.
Right. I mean, that's funny. That's not really like a heckle. That's one of the kinder things you've ever said to a band.
That's not. I really like you.
Yeah.
Here's $1 if you play another song. And then I also did see the Help Yourself Records kickoff with SSDD.
Yeah, I was really bummed I missed that. I had to work.
It was great. I missed Ubu Roy, and I could say it was because I was working and got off late, or I could say it because I just didn't feel like seeing a bunch of fucking losers try to pretend like they knew how to shred.
Oh, why? Why? I've never seen Nail Polish.
It was fantastic. It was great. Aiden kind of has like a Richard Hell vibe to him while he's playing bass.
Yeah.
And Dave was great at drums, and everything was good. I wanted to buy an SSDD t-shirt, but their merch person, i.e. Sam, the head of their label, wouldn't sell me one.
What are you creating grudges with Help Yourself Records and Ubu Roy tonight?
Something's
going on.
He said I can't find the t-shirts. I think he just didn't want to sell me one.
Okay. Well, maybe they just didn't have one that fit you.
Joseph, do we have a guest this week?
We sure do. I'm actually really excited about this guest. He's been sitting through all of this. Welcome, Dylan Wall.
You say welcome?
Hello.
Welcome, Dylan Wall.
Pleasure to be here.
For those of you who don't know, Dylan Wall is a local engineer and producer of some of the most amazing bands and records around. And just to give you an idea, I have a bit of a pedigree here. Both Weed Records, which I am a huge fan of.
Oh, you know what? Just to interrupt you, because that's what I do on this podcast. I was in Bellingham today at Everyday Music.
Yeah.
And they had the first Weed record for $30.
Wow.
A used copy.
Really?
Yeah. And I was like, because I was flipping through. Like,
I got a copy of that.
Well, drive up to Bellingham. But I was in there, like, you know, the new arrival section. And, like, it had been, like, every day of the week. You know, they divided by day of the week. Everything had been like crap, and until this one day, where it's obviously someone's like really good collection. I was like, oh, this is pretty good. This is pretty good. And so the weed record, I'm like, oh, awesome, I'm gonna buy it. And I pull it out, and then it said $30.
That's
like,
crazy.
And I'm like, I don't feel this is right.
Yeah. So I mean, I love that record, but that seems crazy.
Continue.
But to continue, you also produced or engineered.
You can deny any of this too.
Oh,
yeah. You can play Deniability.
You produced the Deniability record?
Yeah, that's. Oh my God, you're the worst. So Pitted's new record that's coming out on Sub Pop.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Versing. They have a new EP.
Which that was like the worst kept secret in Seattle.
I mean, I thought it wasn't a secret anymore.
Technically, it was a secret until like a couple days ago.
Oh yeah, they put a video up or something.
Yeah, that's what I mean. But I mean, before that, like, I mean, everyone like was like, "Oh, you can't tell anyone this."
Yeah.
But
yeah, that sounds the same way I remember it.
Yeah, that's why I thought it was okay to say. I thought it wasn't.
Well, no, I meant until like earlier this week.
Oh, okay, cool. You did FF, which is an awesome record. Love that. And Naomi Punk's first record. Did you do the second one?
My interaction with some of those Naomi Punk records is a little. Yeah, it's a kind of a longer story than just like recorded or mixed.
Do you want me to elaborate? Can you say within an hour?
Yeah. How long do we have here?
We have an hour. We have to take a break to pay some bills.
Okay. So I've known Travis of Naomi Punk for years, and I recorded stuff for The Last Slice of Butter, which is the band he was in prior to Naomi Punk.
Love that band.
They were awesome.
Yeah.
They still are awesome.
Yeah.
He after Last Slice of Butter was kind of done, he came to me saying, hey, I'm kind of working on this new thing, and he'd been doing all these. I guess I don't know if they were demos or if he was thinking of them as the final cut, but I kind of helped him along the process with that. So. Not necessarily doing any recording. I don't think I actually recorded anything for anything that they've done.
Oh, wow, okay.
But I was sort of like maybe, I don't know, his sagely figure of wisdom or something for like recording knowledge.
I'm Tumbleweed just ran through the studio.
So he was like, I helped him do like transfers off like a 4-track and, how does the EQ on this sound, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And I think that now all the engineering recording stuff for that band has channeled into Neil, the other guitar player.
Oh, cool.
His realm. So
nice.
Did you give each other awkward looks when you see each other?
Always, yeah. I bumped into him by happenstance down in Olympia maybe a few months ago, and there were awkward looks exchanged.
Did it get the first one? So the first one came out on Couple Skate, and then it got reissued on Captured Tracks.
So they did basically a full length that was never re-released by anybody.
Okay.
Then they did The Feeling, which is the one that was Couple Skate to Captured Tracks. And then I can't remember actually if it was before or after that. They did this like 3-song CLS. I don't know if you would call it an EP or like a single or something.
It came out like on a Canadian label, right?
Oh, that's right. You know what? They did a split. They did a 7-inch that came out on Will from Weed's label.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know
Cruisin' USA. I think it's, well, I don't know. He'll maybe correct me in the future, but Cruisin' USA, which is, as far as I know, defunct.
Yeah.
But so I take back what I said earlier. I recorded and mixed the songs on the 7-inch.
I had a feeling.
Getting to the truth of things.
Yeah, a feeling, right?
Yeah.
The feeling.
Like what we did. All right.
Boys.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, you were more excited than I was.
No, MoveOn.org. Let's go.
All right. You did your own joke there. That was your own. I was just going to ask him how you got started with all this. Like, what made you want to do this? Or did it just sort of happen?
It definitely didn't. I mean, kind of. It just sort of happened. But so when I was, I think I got started in high school. I had a senior project. Like every student had to do this like capstone senior project.
Wait, did you grow up around here?
Yeah, on the east side.
Oh, where at?
Sort of Redmond area.
Cool.
Yeah.
I'm from just beyond there, so the senior project.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Cool.
Lake Washington School District.
Okay, cool. I was out in like Carnation, so a little further away.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. So senior project, I had to do something, and I had to like pick something, and the only thing I really cared about at the time was like playing in bands, and so I was like, well, I'm gonna learn a little bit about recording. And so I, my family had an old computer, and I installed
like an IBM fucking punch card thing.
Not quite that old,
Okay.
yeah. I think it did have a CD-ROM drive, which probably made sounds like that.
At one point, CD-ROM was the future.
Yeah. Yeah, so I learned how to use, I think it was a program called Sonar, and I made a few little songs in that, and then I kept playing music, and then eventually decided that I wanted to learn more about recording, so I went to the recording program at Shoreline Community College, and went through that.
So now, when you're in the recording program, like, was it mostly people kind of like you, like who liked independent music and just wanted to record, or was it like people who they thought they were gonna own like a record label and like produce Rihanna cuts?
I think I'd say it was mostly people like me, but I think a lot of people go into recording programs with lofty aspirations, and then expect to be doing something exciting as soon as they're done with them, or while they're working on them. And
Justin Timberlake live sound.
Yeah, I'm gonna graduate from this community college and start working for Justin Timberlake.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know.
Okay. Sorry.
But then you knew bands and
yeah.
You
So
just sort of started recording them, I assume.
Yeah, I played in a band called Get Dressed.
Oh,
and
cool.
Yeah. And
well, I mean, when did you start buying recording equipment, and what did you buy?
I mean, I started buying recording equipment when I was in school at Shoreline, and I probably bought some headphones. And when I started buying stuff.
All right,
recording,
okay.
yeah.
Okay,
All right.
I meant like
so
more substantial recording equipment.
Okay.
I don't know.
You want the real details?
$300.
Those new headphones that come with that Old Dirty Bastard song.
No, like real recording and mixing ones.
Okay. Earbuds?
No. Anyway,
real earbuds. Yeah, the legit earbuds.
Yeah. With 3 Z's at the end.
God.
So I mean, when I started like really buying recording equipment, I would buy old, basically the company that makes Pro Tools were called DigiDesign at the time, and prior to that they had unloaded a bunch of other stuff, and so I was buying things like ADAT machines and stuff that could be had for like $50 or $100, and sort of piece this thing together. and I like find old mixers on Craigslist and stuff like that. And I remember actually working on the early Last Slice of Butter recordings. Like I was using this ADAT thing, which like I don't know probably nobody's familiar with this shit anymore, but it's like it recorded on these things that were basically VHS tapes. Yeah. But they were SVHS tapes, the S standing for super. And it could do 8 tracks of digital audio on a VHS tape. And this one that I bought, I think I paid like $50 for it maybe, and then another $20 in shipping on eBay. Yeah. And then, so we were recording on it, but it was like, it was probably about 10 years old at that point, and it had all kinds of problems. It would like overheat, and it would just shut down. And so I remember at one point we were either recording or mixing, and I had it like the bottom of the case of the thing off, so all the internal electronics were exposed, and it was like on a couple chairs with a fan blowing up underneath to stop it from overheating. So yeah, it was like stuff like that.
That's a cool place to start, though.
Yeah.
Then you kind of like, I don't know, I feel like you probably appreciate more with what you're working with now then.
Yeah.
Because it sounds like you were recording with a car. Like, it was like overheated.
Yeah, the timing belt. Yeah, you got to change that out.
They just, this week stopped making Betamax tapes.
They were still making Betamax?
This week?
This week.
Didn't it lose? Isn't that what they said?
Yeah, but television stations use them. Because they're like a superior tape form.
They were.
No, they were.
So like archival stuff.
Yeah, like archival stuff. Yeah, it'd been like that size tape was like.
So what do they use now? Just digital stuff?
I'm assuming that like that's what it is that most places are going digital. But no, that was the thing is Betamax was a better quality. It's just VHS licensed out their machines, and so other people started like working on them, and they came up with the pause button and fast forward. And so VHS won.
Innovative concepts
at the time.
Huh. Wow.
Joseph has a Laserdisc.
Oh.
I have a Laserdisc.
I've heard about some of these. Player. I've heard about this Laserdisc and some of the mail that you've received.
Oh, yep. There's the 4 Men in Black tapes over there. I now also have the cassette version of the Men in Black soundtrack,
which I gave you.
Which you gave me. Yeah. It wasn't a mystery.
Yeah.
It was at Spin Cycle, and I said
he was stalking me at work. He was in my personal space.
I was like, "Hey, Danny,"
and I was
do a podcast. I was like, "Get out of here."
I was in the back.
Yeah.
I was in the back.
The back.
I was in the back room.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a room.
You're in the back
room where customers are not allowed.
You can see.
Customers are not allowed.
I'm not a customer.
You invaded my personal space. You're right.
I didn't buy anything.
You've never bought. You've never bought anything there. And so I gave you a Men in Black cassette tape to get you to leave.
Yep, that's okay. I got what I wanted. So you're producing your all these bands are like Dylan, Record Us. When did it start becoming more of like a business and identity and stuff for you? Like when did you start really like building and opening your own studio, which is called Tastefully Loud?
And actually,
so I just had to settle on a name like a few weeks ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
that's new.
Well, when they were doing the album credits for the So Pitted record, it was like, what do you want to call your studio? And I just kind of like kick in the can, like, I don't know, I don't really have a name. I was like, all right, I should come up with a name.
Yeah. Tastefully Loud.
Yeah.
Good one.
Well, thanks.
Tasteful.
Yeah,
it's terrible.
Oh, yeah.
I'm so sorry.
Can we edit that?
I like puns.
I'll beep that. What were you gonna say?
Oh, I was going to say, when did you decide to make this a business? And the reason we're asking this is because the IRS called us earlier today. And they want to know.
Well, I keep pretty detailed records. I use QuickBooks. And,
wow.
They have QuickBooks for recording studios?
It's just one.
Okay, that'd be kind of funny.
You know what? They do have some like pre-programmed stuff in there though. That's like for recording studios.
Really?
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. Surprisingly enough, they know their credits.
I never thought I got to a point in my life where someone would tell me something about QuickBooks, and I was like, that's awesome. Like, oh, cool.
Yeah. Do you want to turn this into like more of a accounting podcast?
Yeah.
Well, that's actually the show that comes on after us.
Oh. But if I stick around, maybe I can.
You can be on. Yeah. Like it's called Accounting 101 Fun. They make accounting fun.
That was a good one.
But wait, so what was the first band that like approached you and said, "We've heard your stuff. We like your sound."
And like you didn't know them or anything.
That's a good question. I don't know if I don't know if I could really tell you with certainty what the first band that
Did you do
approached
drugs?
me. Yeah, I mean, I don't like so much of what I do is like through direct, like friends of friends or like, somebody that I meet a band at a show and I'll be like, hey, I like what you guys are doing, like, or send them an email or something and like,
G-chat.
I'll G-chat them.
Tweet
I'll,
at them.
I'll Facebook Messenger them. And
Do you primarily try to like work with bands that you personally enjoy? Then do you find that's easier, or do you just kinda-
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you don't have to name names, but has anyone approached you and you're just like, you had to make up an excuse because you thought they were god-awful?
Not anybody that I had heard of.
Oh, so like you...
So, but yeah, I mean, like people will, occasionally send me an email or message or whatever. And it'll be like, I don't want to like dissuade anybody from trying to get in touch with me. So maybe this isn't the best thing to talk about. But, mostly it's like, if it's somebody that doesn't seem like they have their shit together or like, just if they don't seem like they know what they're doing, or like they haven't played any shows or...
Yeah,
it's stuff like that. When I say like don't know what they're doing, I don't mean like, there are a lot of bands that, haven't done very much, but are doing something really cool. And I would like to talk to them.
If you're one of those bands, email us at accesspodcast@gmail.com. I haven't checked the email in like a month. Have we gotten anything?
Only from Dylan, pretty much. We've been not. It took me like a week to respond to his email, which I'm sorry about. It's because I was like really sick and then I was out of town. Anyway,
I'm just sick of those emails.
That's fair.
Yeah, I got so
email
sick of
can
those
be a
emails.
very slow method of communication.
One. Sorry to interrupt, but one follow up.
No, you're not.
Yeah, fuck you. One follow up to last episode. So if you listen to last episode, if you haven't listened to the last
I think
episode,
maybe I did.
It was the coffee one.
I listened to 2/3 of that one. I
Well,
think.
did you hear about when we were talking about a band had approached us to come into our studio and play live on the air?
Yes. Yeah, I do remember
So
that.
The accidentals.
The accidental. So they were bugging me about not getting back to them, and so now if you're not from Seattle, you may not have heard about this story. This is a true story. So I sent them a message that said, "Sorry, there's been a snafu." And then I had a link to a news story. And the news story was about how at 6 a.m., a garbage man was harassed by a man in his pajamas.
Oh,
And then,
I read that story.
Yeah. And then this kid stole a garbage truck, drove around, ran over, there's this like bicycle share program, ran over that, drove by a police station, almost hit police officers. The whole time the parking brake is on, and so it's making a horrible smell.
God.
And then the only reason he stopped was because he crashed into a different garbage truck because the brakes stopped working because he burnt them out. In the news story, the best part of the news story, it was towards the end, it said, the driver only had his learner's permit.
That explains why the parking brake was on.
But anyway, so I sent the accidentals. I just said, there's been a snafu. And then I sent them that article. They've not contacted us back.
The Stranger had that thing that they do where it's like they illustrate, they make a comic out of like something they did that.
Oh,
with
I haven't
story.
seen that.
They released it today. It's pretty funny.
Those comics are super funny.
Yeah.
They released it today. I thought The Stranger came out on Wednesday.
You know what? Danny was online today. I don't know what to tell you. I never know what to tell you, to be honest.
So do you feel that you spend too much time recording other people's music and you don't get a chance to concentrate on your own?
Deep question there. But I don't know if I feel like I'm. Yeah, everything's always, it's like maybe. No, I do spend like all my time working on other people's music, but I enjoy doing that. So
No, which I mean, I can understand that. I think that's great, but I just wonder, like, do you have like stuff on the back burner that you just don't have time to get to?
Actually, I do kind of have something that it's an epic rock opera. It's this album. It's about 10 hours long, and it's kind of the Ring cycle of rock operas. Yeah, it's kind of like I don't feel like I'm ever I never have any kind of like resentment about it. It's mostly like if I have free time, I might work on something, or I might just watch Netflix.
Yeah.
But
try YouTube.
Yeah.
It's
or
like
YouTube.
It's like a free Netflix, but they're only like 2.5 minutes long.
Oh, cool!
my
I
God.
could watch a lot more YouTubes than Netflixes.
Yeah, I'd recommend watching a video by the guy who says that Back to the Future predicted 9/11.
Ooh.
It is amazing.
What do you do in your free time, Danny?
It is amazing.
It's not.
It's amazing.
You've been into
But anyways, I mean, I can see how like recording a band is creatively satisfying. But
Yeah.
it's just weird because usually people get into recording because they play music, and then like that kind of like takes control of their life.
Yeah, I don't know. So the bands that I haven't really played in a band in years. The last thing that I had.
Joseph plays bass.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Do you play anything?
I
Dan?
don't.
Oh.
I don't.
He plays the crowd.
Yeah, but I don't know. I it's funny because I do wind up playing on people's records from time to time. Shaker and tambourine with regularity.
Do you get more like points for that?
I've never
Yeah.
never done anything on points.
Okay.
Never done one of those deals.
So when you got into this, was there anything was there a certain producer or way of engineering or like a record sound that like shaped the way you wanted to record things that you felt like gave you your voice, or like the way you make records sound? I feel like they're very crisp and clean, and you can just like hear, even when it's noisy, like you can really hear everything super well, and it doesn't sound like you said you record with Pro Tools, but it sounds like it doesn't sound so digital or anything like that, or like forced.
Well, so I guess in response to the, is there anybody in particular, there were definitely like things that I liked before I, really got heavily involved with this that I've since come back to, and I'll go like, I don't like the way this sounds at all.
Yeah.
That were, like heavily influential on me at the time. But as far as like, I think that what I try to sort of what I'm always kind of going for is like some sort of like clearness and clarity, but at the same time also like kind of like tastefully fucked up at the same time.
Yeah.
So something like the rawness of like, I don't know, like an old Sonics record, but like, still sort of clear and, something with beautiful strings in it or something. I don't know, some combination of that. And I think one of the things that I always try to get people to emphasize is like a really clear melody and like hook that sort of pulls the song along from beginning to end.
Yeah.
Whether it's vocal or like a guitar lead that comes in or something like that.
So it sounds like you do a lot of input onto the music that you help record with people. Is that right?
Yeah, I'd say more or less depending on the record. Like some people just want. It's rare that I work with anybody that just wants somebody to hit record and like keep their mouth shut.
Yeah.
But I'm working on something right now with an old friend of mine who basically is like a songwriter. So he came with just his acoustic guitar, his voice and his songs. And we've been kind of like getting other people in to like put in the different pieces. And I rarely work on records like that.
Yeah.
Because it's very time consuming and, I'm usually somewhere in the middle of like, oh, maybe you should cut the intro in half. Maybe you should, this thing sounds like it's the most important thing. Maybe you should like not be playing a guitar lead over the vocal melody kind of thing.
Yeah.
Do you ever have to like just be like, everyone needs to stop. We need to take like a breath. I mean, it seems like things aren't working, or like bands are too like stressed out.
Yeah, totally.
Because like sometimes it seems like being the person that's not in the band, you have the ability and in some ways the responsibility of being like, okay, it seems like everyone's pissed at each other.
Yeah.
Tough responsibility.
Let's just like take a breather.
Yeah,
totally.
I guess that might be easier if you do know them, because then you can like.
But there's also, you're on like your home tour. It's your studio. Like you're on your home tour.
Right.
And,
yeah.
like,
Well, not always. I mean, like actually, in those full band situations, where I'm usually somewhere that's not necessarily a foreign place, but like in sagely. Here comes some sagely advice.
That tumbleweed tag. I don't know where the fuck that came from.
So my spot's just set up to like mix and do overdubs, so like vocal takes, guitars, anything supplemental. But it always starts in a bigger studio, so someplace where like the full band can set up, and where there's room for a drum kit and everybody to put headphones on and play at the same time, even if we're not keeping everything that everybody plays. So yeah, like studio days are long, and especially in those like early sessions when you're doing basic tracking, which is like just everything live. It can be like a 10-12 hour day, maybe even longer, and like if you don't take appropriate breaks, everybody kind of shuts down.
Yeah.
And, even I'm a little loopy by the end of it. It's like
sure.
a lot of coffee.
Has anyone ever tried to make a bad joke about there being a wall of sound?
Oh
you're
yeah,
producing?
totally.
That sucks.
Yeah.
Fuck that.
I'm not gonna lie, I played around with that idea for like a second as an introduction. I was like, don't be
No,
that.
you actually did make that joke through a text message.
No, you did.
No, you did.
Did I?
So.
Oh no!
You said something about him coming on, and I was like, is he going to try to fight me? Which I say that all the time about.
No, I'm just going to hear
and
from
I said,
Phil
I hope he
Spector's
doesn't put up any
lawyers.
walls.
I
That's
hope
all
he
I
doesn't
said.
build a wall. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you did make a joke.
I did. Yeah, but that was between us. I didn't make it on a public forum. That's
You don't know that like I screenshot all of our text messages
on your flip phone.
Yeah.
Show me how to take a screenshot on your flip phone. I would love to see you do that.
Well, you just get a camera and you take a picture of it.
Oh man.
All right, now I feel like it's time to really ask this question.
Uh-oh.
If you had a chance to go back in time and kill baby Hitler, would you?
Oh no, my God! Get at it. Get the politics off this.
Wait,
podcast.
no. Keep your politics off my podcast.
Yes.
I don't even think there's like a answer to that question. I don't speculate on hypotheticals.
Whoa.
Yeah. So there it is.
I vote for Dylan Wall.
I read something recently that was something somebody had retweeted, and it was the real question is it was for like GOP politicians that they should have asked is like would they approve of Hitler's mother getting an abortion?
Well, it's funny. I said that same thing to someone. Yeah. Because I said that's what I wanted.
That's the real
They
question.
asked that in a debate, didn't they?
No.
Oh, okay.
No,
I don't know anything about it. Someone told me about it at work.
No,
I didn't watch the debate.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't. So what it was? So Jeb Bush has an aspect to his campaign where there's an email address where if you email any question, you'll get an instant reply. So it's obviously like an intern or someone.
Okay.
And they're actually like kind of like funny, creative ways of answering these stupid questions.
Mm-hmm.
And someone asked that question.
And what was the reply?
I can't remember what the reply was, but then a reporter found out about that and actually asked him in person. And he brought up the like kind of like Doc Brown, like, oh, I don't think this might have other ramifications.
Oh,
but I would do it. But then someone asked another candidate.
Yeah,
and so it's funny.
Ben Carson.
Yeah,
or something?
Ben Carson. Yeah, and so like now it's becoming like a question that's being asked.
Yeah.
So I want to ask our guest that.
Well, I want to ask our guest.
Yeah, I think I saw actually a reply that it was probably on the Slog, the Stranger blog that
Stranger's
Dan.
getting a lot of plugs tonight.
Yeah. You're welcome, stranger.
Which is funny because their last music editor canceled, did a no-show.
And then the
Very
the
harsh.
person who did reply to our emails did not wish to come on our podcast.
True story. I think enough times passed. I'm still pissed about this. We had their last music editor booked as a guest, and they did a no-show.
Oh.
Well,
They also got fired.
yeah.
Well, there you go.
It's not
There you
the-
go.
If you're gonna tell the story, tell the story. Don't just. They didn't just not show up. It's because they had gotten fired like a week before.
Or did they not show up and then you guys got them fired?
No.
Oh no! So what's okay? So
No.
this
You don't fuck around with this. You don't
fuck around.
You don't
with the podcast. What?
flip around with this podcast.
Well, you can swear on AM radio.
Oh.
No, but what's funny was that we had it had this email back and forth, and then we confirmed it on a date, but it was going to be a couple weeks down the line.
The back and forth was tense, though.
Yeah, it was tense, and
She
then
did not have a sense of humor.
so then the day of, I just send another email being like, "Oh, it's I can't wait to see you tonight. Just here's
Checking
the address
in,
again.
yeah.
Just checking in again." And then I got an auto reply that said, "As of," and it was the day after our last email. This person does not work here anymore.
Oh.
And all these things. And so we sent the new music or the new person
The person who was overseeing,
overseeing the transition, what happened to this person? And they're like, "Oh, it just didn't work out." I was like, "Well, we're launching a full investigation."
and he was just like, okay,
Okay.
what are you talking about? And we were like, do you want to come on tonight? He was like, I'll check it
Accidents
out.
on
Probably
purpose
not.
expose.
Yeah.
We do some muckraking.
Yeah. I mean, it was kind of fun. We were really pleased with ourselves while we were writing those emails, but,
I'll tweet those out.
And then we saw that person, the next weekend at a show. Remember?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got snubbed.
Yeah, I got snubbed. A lot of weird eye contact.
You know what? 99% of the people we asked to come on this podcast snub us in real life.
Oh.
It's not true, but now Ubu Roy is after.
Well, I'm gonna have to snub you guys then after tonight.
That's
That's just how it goes, right? I'm just playing my part.
I'm a little mad at Uber Roy.
Are you really? What's going on?
I'm not, but I set them up a show in Boise, Idaho, and they were really late. They showed up. They got there after the show was supposed to start, and the person was texting me "Do you have their number? They're not here. What's going on?" But then they showed up and they killed it.
Yeah. All right. It's tough on the road.
Also, Colin snubs me at Pagliacci.
He doesn't know. He's the one person who doesn't know who either of us are.
No one knows who we are.
Yeah.
I don't know who you are.
Oh. Anyway, so we're interviewing a gentleman. I'm going to ask him a question. Is that cool? All right.
Gentle person.
You did.
Keep them coming. What's next?
So you spent some time overseeing the old Redmond Firehouse. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Cool. I used to spend a ton of time there I interned there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, for a couple months.
Was Dylan your boss?
No, I don't remember you at all. No offense. Did you work with Matt Doctor and Jeff McNulty and stuff?
I know Matt Doctor.
Yeah.
So I actually, when I was in high school, my band recorded there with Matt Doctor.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and then so I went to shows there when I was in high school, and then years later came back to oversee the media lab. That was cool.
What are you...
Gary, stop burping.
Oh my god, this whole interview.
Gary has a gallon of... okay, sorry to interrupt.
Not! You just keep popping in with nonsense.
So
and burps.
earlier today I was in Tacoma, and...
You were in Bellingham and Tacoma?
Yeah.
It's pretty much
4 in the morning.
So I was in Tacoma, and I went to this coffee shop, and the person in front of me, I don't know if this was on the menu or not, but I saw this drink being made. So it was probably a 16-ounce plastic cup, a cold cup.
Yeah.
And because it could be a hot cup.
Okay.
Well, because the cold cups are usually see-through.
All right.
They're usually transparent, much like my stories. Mm-hmm. And so the barista poured a finger's worth of syrup into it, and I'm like, that's gross. And then she opened up an energy drink and started pouring it in, and I'm like, she can't pour the whole thing in. There has to be another ingredient. But then that was it, and then she stirred it and gave it to him, and he paid and he left. And that was fucking disgusting.
What?
That's a drink that you can order?
In Tacoma.
Wow.
That was totally fucking disgusting.
I mean, that's
Wow.
definitely off menu. That's got to be off menu.
I don't know.
Huh.
It was really gross.
And where was it? I'd like to know where I can go to order one of these.
Oh wait, hey Pace, what was the name of that coffee? Oh, I mean, hey, what was the name of that coffee shop?
I don't remember. Tower.
Tower?
Tower.
Oh, that sounds about right. Tower. Like about what's the like street?
Yakima and 11th.
Yakima and 11th.
Huh. Interesting.
I'll have to ask Versing if those guys know about it, because they're Tacoma people, and they
people.
they ought to know
maybe
where to
it's
get
called
the good drinks.
Tacoma. Maybe it's called like the Tacoma.
Oh,
And then
man.
maybe
It's
a
gonna
shot of
put you in a
coffee on
coma.
top.
Hey.
There you go, and that's how then it's legit. It's a coffee
But that's
drink.
what I mean. I thought there was going to be another ingredient, but it was just this energy drink and like a finger's worth of syrup. It's disgusting. It's so gross.
Yeah, that's.
So you were the head of the. So you were the head of the media.
And that
lab?
segues perfectly into this conversation.
So did you have to record a lot of okay, I remember my young shitty band recorded.
Oh,
You know what,
yeah, man.
You know what?
Yeah.
Why don't you explain to the audience exactly the place you're talking about?
Oh, okay,
'Cause
yeah.
You both referenced
Yeah, that's a
it.
You're right, yeah. So the old Redmond Firehouse is, or at least it was. I'm not sure what it does now.
It's it's a teen center in Redmond that both has programs for kids. I think it's like 12 through 18.
Yeah.
And then also puts on shows and events.
Yeah.
And they were unless some historian corrects me here, they were the first place on the east side to like do anything like that.
Yeah.
And Ground Zero was there shortly after, and they sprung up during the times of the teen dance ordinance, and it was a place where awesome all ages shows could happen.
It's really cool because like during the week they would have, like you said, events, so you could go and hang out there, and on Fridays and Saturdays, mostly Fridays, but they would have concerts. And they would get really big bands from, not every Friday, but they would get big bands to come through and play all ages shows. Like, that was where I would see the Blood Brothers and, like Squared Heroes and Big Business and Akimbo. And I would just I thought it was so cool to see these bands that pretty much otherwise either played house shows or bars or like these huge shows.
Yeah, and I think one of the really awesome things about that too is they would almost always have like a teen band opening for the shows, if not like a couple of them.
Yeah, and then they would also have a lot of nights that were just all teen bands. And that was the first, in my opinion, real show I ever played. Yeah. And then that was also the last show that band ever played, and we just had like a ton of people there, and it was...
Braggart.
It was, bragging. I peaked at 17.
2,000 pounds of people.
I remember one of the first shows that I went to there was Waxwing and Minus the Bear and a couple other bands. Running from Sirens and Smokers Die Younger.
Oh, wow.
Who I don't think I ever heard either of those two again, but and it was
if
like
you
$5.
Were one of those bands, email us at accessontpurposepodcast@gmail.com and you can be a next guest.
But they also had like a really cool local scene. Like there was
a loco scene?
a local, hey, they're
Everyone's
crazy. Like just of like teen bands that I feel like they all moved to Seattle and started good band, like even better bands like Last Slice of Butter and
I mean,
Michaela's Fiend and stuff.
everybody was inspired to play music.
Yeah.
And,
And so within it, they had this thing called the Media Lab, which is just a recording studio. And they would just, you could go in there. It was a really nice studio, and for cheap fee, record your band. That was where my band would record and stuff, because we couldn't afford anywhere else.
Did they record podcasts?
I don't know.
I never did any podcast recording while I was
I
there.
don't think podcasts existed back then.
Well, when I was working there, they definitely did.
Okay.
Oh!
But
Actually, I was, the last time I was there was like 12 years ago or something, so I'm old now.
I think I was there from, I think it was 2009 through 2013 that I was working there.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, it was great. It was really, I was super lucky to fall into the opportunity of running stuff there because it was an opportunity for me to do a lot of recording and like manage a space and, kind of have oversight of this facility with like a low pressure on the recording side of things.
Yeah.
Like the place isn't there to like make money as a recording studio, so I was there to like run recording sessions and also come up with programs and like, teach kids about recording, and I'd have interns and we'd, do weird mic experiments and solder cables and
That's
stuff.
awesome.
Yeah.
So touching on it again, did you get some like really, how can I say, interesting like kid bands that were just like, not very good, but really
It's funny how both of you kept saying teen bands until you got derogatory and you said kid band.
Yeah, teens are better than kids. Kids suck.
I like to say that I got very good at editing working there.
Yeah. Were there any like stage moms, like any parents like that would come in and be like living through their rock and roll dreams with their kids?
Not so much in the studio. I think that was like definitely a thing at the live shows.
Yeah.
And I didn't do too much live sound there. There's another guy that did or still does actually most of the like front of house live show engineering. But I'd fill in every now and then when he couldn't do it. And there were definitely some parents there that were trying to relive the glory days a little bit.
Yeah.
But for the most part, no.
That's cool. Sounds really awesome.
Yeah.
Glory Days is Joseph's favorite Bruce Springsteen song.
It's a good song.
I listened to it right after I watched Far and Away.
You do weird shit with your
Hey,
free time.
you know what? YouTube, I fucking relive my past. We gotta pay some bills.
Is it time to pay some bills?
Yeah, it's time to pay some bills.
All right, let's pay some
we
bills.
will be right back.
Here's Jim Coyne, a nice guy in a tough business.
If you want to buy audio equipment, come to Sound Chamber. We'll show you why.
Sound Chamber may not have the biggest showroom in Cleveland, only the best stocked. When we advertise it, we have it. If you want to buy techniques, we sell it to you, no hype. Sound Chamber is the place to come because we have it all.
That's why my customers always feel fantastic.
Jim Coyne Sound Chambers, Northfield at Emory, West 130th across from Southland, and in Mentor on Center Street.
I think it's time for turning the tables. This is where we turn the tables. Do you have any
This
questions
classic
for us?
segment that we do every week.
We do it every
Turning
week.
the tables. I didn't prepare any questions,
Well,
but
we had prepared some answers, so we didn't ask the right questions.
B, Egypt, and divisible by 2. We'll just pause the tape. Give you a chance to think. So we'll edit out this pause. So just think.
What is your favorite thing about doing this podcast?
Groupies. No.
Yeah, AM radio groupies
No,
are all they're like grandmas.
Okay, we'll start with it. He asked the question. I enjoy every single moment I hang out with Joseph. And since he ditches out hanging out with me in any other circumstance except doing the podcast, this is
kind of true.
This is the only time I get to hang out with him. I enjoy drinking, which happens during the podcast because AM 1045 pays for all the alcohol. And partly is actually I am kind of a nerdy person, and I actually do have a lot of questions for people. And I think if I approached you in a bar and asked you these questions, you would be like, "I gotta get the fuck out of here."
Yeah.
And there's a lot of bands where if I
I'm getting a text, so I'm gonna.
Yeah, and so I do, and actually I think that a lot of either people that I have questions for don't get interviewed, or when they do get interviewed, I read those interviews and they're stupid questions. There's people who've been on the podcast who've been interviewed before, and I'm I don't this is not what I want to know. These seems like just generic questions, one step above what's your favorite color.
And it doesn't really feel like you get to know them when you read those interviews or anything.
Yeah, and so I know I feel like I have questions that I really enjoy music, and I have questions about people who perform it or record it or write about it, and so I like having them come in and
that's my favorite thing is getting to meet and become acquaintances or friends with people that I've looked up to for a long time, or I think the music scene in Seattle is awesome, and it's a little bit of a tight knit community in certain areas, and it's cool to get to know those people, and I don't know, just to feel more a part of it.
And then I think of all the people that have asked to be on the podcast, and they have said no, and they're on the list. The big list.
Whoa. Yeah, we keep a huge list, size of a wall, of all the people who have said no to us.
How many people have said no to us? There really aren't.
Actually,
that many.
there's only like one.
No, there's more than one.
Two.
There's a band that sounds like Pube Dork.
I actually don't know who. Oh yeah, they haven't said no. Actually, they keep saying yes, just not now. Actually, there's
a guy whose name's with Vashon Island Napster.
With Mason Laxter. No, most people don't say no. They just say, "Yeah, I'll do it later."
And then their next email is just a picture of their butt.
Actually, if I would love if people rejected us by just sending us a picture of their butt. That would be fine by me. Or you can just say no.
Well, I really appreciate that mostly genuine answer to my turning the tables question.
And that's been turning the tables.
That's been turning the tables. All right, Dylan, let's say this happens.
Let's say it happens.
Let's say this happens. Universal Studios buys the rights to your story.
To Dylan Wall.
Who is going to play you in the movie?
Wait, what would you say when they come to your door?
And also,
they're going to come to my door.
They're going to let you. They're going to let you be part of the casting. Who's going to play you, and who's going to play Travis?
Ooh.
I don't know.
Yeah, no, that's good.
Who's gonna play me?
Somewhat contemporary actor.
Yeah, probably somebody.
Or actress.
Probably somebody.
Stop it. Be nice to the guest.
For me, probably Vin Diesel.
That's
It doesn't matter.
All right, fine.
Yeah,
I really want to see a scene of Vin Diesel recording in the media lab. Like I don't, man, that's great.
You know, I got pissed off the other day.
Oh, you?
So, someone that only sort of knows me sent a fair amount of people a mass text that says, "Do any of you think that Danny looks like Dwight from The Office?"
Who was this?
It is, you don't know.
Okay.
Pissed me off.
All right.
But I guess Dwight from The Office. If in the movie of your life they do an episode or they do a segment with the podcast, Dwight from The Office,
Rainn
Wilson,
Yeah.
Making It Rainn Wilson.
So, oh my god.
And
so we got Vin Diesel.
Jesse Eisenberg's going to play you.
We have Vin Diesel, and somehow Danny's insinuated us into your movie.
This is,
this is kind of like a pivotal moment in the story of my life.
Dylan Wall has to think about his whole life.
Here.
No, Dylan Wall has to think about his whole life before he goes into AM 1045 studios.
It's all set in the studio.
Oh, let's talk about coffee.
One of my favorite things about your website was when you were talking about all the gear that you have in your studio, and the last one is coffee.
Oh, yeah.
And it says coffee, and that you have a nice French press. Mm-hmm. So where is your favorite place in the city to get coffee? Where you feel like the flavor and the value is the best, like dollar for drip, what is your best place to get coffee?
There's a Victrola that's really close to my house that I'm a big fan of.
Yeah.
Over on Beacon Hill.
Oh, Beacon Hill.
Yeah.
What do you get there?
Usually just an Americano.
I think 2/3 of VATS work there.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's true?
That's
that
true.
certainly was true. I don't know if that's still true.
Oh,
maybe it is.
Oh,
no! I'm not trying to.
Are you complaining? Are you trying to get people fired?
So you said it as though it was past tense. So I was.
No. It's true.
Is it okay?
Yeah.
I haven't been in there in a while actually. So.
Speaking of VATS, they on Halloween they did a fantastic cover of a bunch of girl groups. They did some Shangri-La songs.
I thought they only did Shangri-La's.
They did a Ronette song.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, you know what? Every band at the Black Lodge did 2 songs. VATS did 3.
Were people mad?
There were some riots.
What an unbeatable high that is.
Exactly.
How was he at the drive-in band one?
You know what? I left before. Sorry.
No, it's fine. 16-year-old me would have loved to like.
He was there. He was drunk.
No.
He had an afro. He was in the bathroom popping pimples.
16-year-old me being there, and just being like, oh, like What is this place?
He poured gin all over the place.
That's because 16-year-old me was religious and didn't like drinking.
Would 16-year-old you kill baby Hitler?
I don't know.
Would baby Hitler kill 16-year-old you?
Maybe. Why do we have to kill him? Why can't we just take him and get him out of his own time?
I would like to encourage his painting. I would like to give him a good teacher.
Why don't we just how about instead of killing him, why don't we just accept him to the Vienna Art College?
I mean, see, the thing is,
that's what I was.
John Cusack is not a good teacher for painting.
Is that referencing a movie?
Yeah,
There's a movie called Max.
Oh.
Where it's about Hitler's days at art school, and John Cusack is his father. Or no, John Cusack is his teacher. It sucks. The movie sucks. It's really
I'm glad
bad.
you're giving it a plug right now.
I mean, it's almost to the point of Springtime for Hitler, that producer thing. It's fucking ridiculous. It's such a stupid idea. Let's just make a movie about Hitler's art school days.
Did you know, and this is real, that there was a sitcom where Hitler and his wife Ava live in a house, and it's supposed to be a funny sitcom, and they live next door to Jewish neighbors.
What?
There was one episode made and it was canceled.
What channel?
You look it up online. This is real. You can watch it on YouTube. I promise.
Yeah, the executives that greenlit that were immediately fired.
Yeah, it's real. I promise you.
Joseph, where is your favorite place to get coffee?
Actually, you know what? We're out of time because as we said,
a good answer. But
as we said earlier, Accounting 101 Fun is coming in
books.
This week. When QuickBooks seems a little too long, just hit that bong and everything will be all right. My name's Danny.
I'm Joseph. Don't do your taxes.
Thank you, Dylan Wall, for coming in.
Thank you so much.
If you're a band in Seattle and you need someone to twist those knobs, why don't you let Dylan twist those knobs?
If you're a listener in Seattle and Dylan Wall's name is on the record, you should definitely listen to it.
And here we go. This is the newest track from So Pitted, and listen to how those knobs are twisted.
Oh, he twisted those knobs. Bye, everybody.
Fuck you for listening.
Fuck you, really.
This has been a podcast presented by Hard to Find Media. Subscribe to Hard to Find Media on youtube.com/Hard to Find Media Network. This shit is free. Share it. Blast it. Fuck it.